It's said by many in the media that the New York Times is the most prestigious outlet in the world. They certainly were respected 50, 60 years ago, but they are one of the most discredited outlets in the world now. But they are still the main vehicle, with the Washington Post competing in second place, for establishment disinformation. The special interests that have captured this nation are on record running the New York Times. And there have been 4 different waves of confirmed WikiLeaks just the last few years, where we have Hillary Clinton particularly giving orders to the New York Times. They go to her before they even run stories. She controls what and is trying to establish an authoritarian system in this country. Now, this is my response to Hillary and to the combine she represents, and to the New York Times, as well as Obama, who's been attacking me and basically implying that I'm a crazy person. I come on air with a lot of energy, and I am almost hysterical at times because I read the documents, I read the statements about the TPP, openly admitting world government. Hillary's own emails have come out saying she wants to ban guns via executive order, but that's in the news in major papers saying ban the Second Amendment. They just live in this world where they deny all this is going on, like saying Obamacare is free or you can keep your doctor, and then they go on Charlie Rose and laugh at us.
And I think
Lovett wrote the line about if you like your insurance, you can keep it.
How dare you? Huge impact. And you know what? It's still true. No. Yeah.
So you can call me a conspiracy theorist all day long. You try to use me as the poster boy to say, look, people that cover these issues aren't credible. I'm the poster boy that got all this information out. I'm the person that did it in a theatrical way, but always told the truth to break through to the public who was in a coma. And that's in the new WikiLeaks as well. Keep them dumbed down, keep them in the dark, keep them disinterested, keep them distracted, keep them diverted. Thank God they're not paying attention, like Gruber famously said about Obamacare.
Lack of transparency is a huge political advantage. And basically, call it the stupidity of the American voter or whatever. But basically, that was really, really critical to getting the thing to pass. And, it's the second best argument. Look, I wish Mark was right. We can make it all transparent, but I'd rather have this law than not.
When I read the latest New York Times article today, I could spend weeks just looking at the disinformation, the spinning, the taking out of context to try to discredit myself, Donald Trump, and populist movements worldwide. And I understand why. The New York Times represents global corporatism, a modern form of anti-free market crony capitalism that is the modern colonialism. And they're using third world populations to basically wage economic warfare now on the first world and bring both down. And they write white papers about this. Separately, when I was reading the story, I saw another link to an article saying that Donald Trump is panicking because he's losing the race and claiming there's election fraud. Again, you illustrate your hypocrisy and wonder why you're basically bankrupt if you didn't have a foreign Mexican owner. And that's that the federal government says the Russians are hacking the election and taking it over, so they're federalizing it. This weeks after I came out 2 months ago and said Homeland Security is planning to federalize it to steal it from Trump because he's really 10 to 15 points ahead. Then the president comes out and says, I'm crazy that the feds aren't involved in elections, but then takes them over 2.5, 3 weeks later. And it's these contradictions on every point. You're announcing world government. You're announcing you want our guns. You're announcing that the family unit's bad. It's in white papers and textbooks that they're trying to get rid of the nuclear family to lower population numbers and promoting homosexuality. I'm not making a judgment of homosexuality. I'm a libertarian, for God's sakes. It's that you're saying you're attacking the family. Don't attack gays, but don't attack the family. That's all I'm saying. But to address a few of the points, they act like I'm a kook for saying the government wants to take our guns, and I went on Piers Morgan and said 1776 will commence again if you try to take them. And then they go, oh my God, he warns of the end of humanity because of nuclear weapons and GMOs and human-animal hybrids. I mean, top scientists across the board. Major institutions say the planet's in more danger of nuclear war or biological Armageddon than we've ever been. But again, they make it look kooky and weird to be concerned. I'm a father of 3. I'm concerned about our mainstream media waging war on independent press and Obama and the Republicans working with them going after whistleblowers. I talked about NSA spying with specifics with whistleblowers 20 years ago. The truth is, people that have attached their wagon to this corrupt establishment are on the wrong side of history. I've been right. I've told the truth. Infowars.com has been a trailblazing institution that's grassroots. We're not all hoity-toity and polished with teleprompters like you are. But even when I'm on the road in a hotel room visiting family, I'm ready to come in and hit back and take action because I know the people deserve the truth, and I believe in humanity, and I want to turn the tide. The truth is Donald Trump is a patriot as well. The truth is you guys are crucifying him for doing 1/100th what Bill and Hillary Clinton have done. But let me address just one more of the other points they raise that I could say has some legitimacy. And that's the criticism that I'm saying Hillary and Obama are literal, actual demons. Folks, I've been told this by high-up folks. They say, listen, Obama and Hillary both smell like sulfur. I never said this because the media go crazy with it, but I've talked to people that are in protective details. I mean, they're scared of her. And they say, listen, she's a frickin' demon and she stinks, and so does Obama. And I go, like what? Sulfur. They smell like hell. Now, to be specific, I'm not saying they're from the pit of hell. I can see how that comes off, and it's a legitimate criticism. I don't believe they actually, again, float around like Ghostbusters, like Slimer or something, and are from a literal hell. But in a allegory way, they might as well be demons from hell. Hillary funding jihadis and ISIS on record all over the world, killing Christians, supporting radical Islam that oppresses women, doing all the horrible things she's done, treating her staff horribly, saying, I came, I saw, Gaddafi died, destabilizing Africa, selling tainted blood. Look at that in the 80s and 90s out of Arkansas when they were basically co-governors and knowing it had HIV in it. I mean, the crimes of the Clinton are legion. These are nasty people. Her own constituents can't stand her. She stole the nomination from Bernie Sanders. Stanford University certified that 6 months ago. So yes, she is a demon in the fact that she's like a serial killer. You know, we say Jeffrey Dahmer is a literal demon. We don't mean he's from the pit of hell, but he's a literal stinking demon. You know, we have famous essays where they were talking about treating the, Irish so bad. They said, why don't we just go ahead and, raise their kids and sell them as raw meat? That was satire. So it went into the edge of satire, and I should have been a little bit clearer, but I don't retract the fact that she behaves like the metaphysical, historical demons we read about in history books or the Bible. The truth is the establishment media is a dying dinosaur. The credibility in the system can never be gotten back because we're run by multinational offshore corporations that brag about it. We're now under foreign treaties we never even ratified. We're going under global government. And so I was right about that and hundreds of other issues. I have credibility, you don't. And I know it upsets you with your big fancy high-rise buildings and all your big titles that people know you've basically, on average, have it out to get them. So Obama, Hillary, the New York Times, all of you, you have chosen your lot. This is who you are. They're still trying to try to back out of it and redeem yourselves, but something tells me you're not going to do it. But there is time for other people in the media and the power structure to realize globalism isn't taking us to a good place. And whether you like Alex Jones or hate him, hey, I'm just a regular guy, and I'm trying to get people's attention to cause a debate on these issues. And that's what we cover at Infowars.com and on my radio show every single day. I mean, she is an abject, psychopathic demon from hell that as soon as she gets into power is going to try to destroy the planet.
She's worked like a demon, as you know, as Secretary of State. And
we came, we saw, he died.
What difference at this point does it make?
And there's only one candidate in this race who understands that democracy in a big, diverse country doesn't work if you constantly demonize each other. Demonize each other.
You could put half of Trump supporters into what I call the basket of deplorables.
And I mean that literally, by the way. I was reading the other day, there's a guy on the radio who apparently Trump's on his show frequently. He said, me and Hillary are demons.
I'm telling you, she is a demon. This is biblical. She's going to launch a nuclear war.
Said we smell like sulfur. Ain't that something? Now, I mean, come on, people.
You can't wash that evil off, man, on Hillary. I'm not kidding. People say, folks, I've been told this by high-up folks. They say, listen, Obama and Hillary both smell like sulfur. I never said this because the media go crazy with it, but I've talked to people that are in protective details. I mean, they're scared of her, and they say, listen, she's a frickin' demon and she stinks, and so does Obama. And I go, like what? Sulfur.
They smell like hell.
On November 8th, the arrogance of Washington, D.C. will come face to face with the righteous verdict of the American voter. It's about time.
So much of what he's just said is not right, but he gets to run his campaign any way he chooses.